Welcome to Ride the Wave, hosted by me, Jeff Fisher, and co-hosted by Mark Robinson, in partnership with the Ride the Wave Foundation. Visit us at ridethewave.org, where we're dedicated to empowering their lives through free resources in servant leadership, mental health wellness, and how to find a purpose. At Ride the Wave, we believe in the power of every story, talent, and voice. Our commitment is clear: to bridge divides, unite communities, and build an all-inclusive, modern campus for those experiencing homelessness. So let's dive in and ride the wave of positive change together. Hey everybody, what's going on? This is Jeff Fisher at Ride the Wave podcast. To my right, the man with the master plan, Mark Robinson. What's going on, Mark?
What's going on, Jeff?
Not much. How are you?
What's going on, everybody?
Doing good? Good. This episode of Ride the Wave is brought to you by our sponsor, 100% Chiropractic, located near the Rockaway Mall in New Jersey. Personally, I trust Dr. Sarah and Dr. Matt with my care. They've transformed how I feel after dealing with recurring shoulder and some hip pain. Their spa-like atmosphere and positive culture make every visit enjoyable, and their personalized care really works. If you're looking to feel and move better, visit 100% Chiropractic today. Mark and I were really excited about today's guests. So for those of you who don't know Tatum, check out episode 9 and 22. I met Tatum at my apartment complex. He is so talented. He's amazing. I met these two people through Tatum. So Davion here is Tatum's son. Davion, excuse me. I'm so sorry. You're his son. And Salam, he's your mentor,
Absolutely.
Somebody you look up to.
Yes,
so
correct.
we want to say thank you guys for coming. So Davion Williams is a producer. He's a cameraman. He's an author of Live from the Limbic System. Did I get that right? All right. And Salam Jackson is a rap artist, singer, and he's a label owner. So we wanted to have these guys basically come in and have an open talk about their art and some other things within the industry. So if you guys could just share how you got started with spoken word and rap music and what inspired you initially to get into it.
Okay. I felt like we kind of started at the same time with writing and finding this outlet through rap, actually.
Yeah.
It honestly goes back to times of like, we used to play like Grand Theft Auto as a kid, and whatever. And we made a rap about Grand Theft Auto.
Okay.
Like just going back and forth from each other. And I wish I could remember it, but it was good.
It
was good.
I don't remember anything of it. His father definitely put it in our heads a bunch of times. I think we were young, wasn't really paying attention to that. I don't know, he had a plan or an idea, like, you guys should be rappers. You know, you kind of got to look for it. You're not really doing much. You're young.
Yeah.
You know, it's fun. He used to do it back in the day. And then one day it just started happening. We used to play Funkmaster Flex, DJ mixing something or other on
Mark.
Some type of game where you can make a beat.
something like that.
Make a beat like that.
Yeah.
So you were always making it fun early on.
Yeah.
You felt like you had a knack for it.
Yeah.
And then we came to find a little radio microphone, something you can plug into the computer, like through the headphone slot.
Yeah.
Real easy. And at the time, the big thing was like SoundCloud. And on SoundCloud, you were able to like live record on SoundCloud. So you'd have to do your whole song in like one take type of thing. So
No messing up, or you got to do,
ad libs and everything.
4 minutes
Yeah.
over again.
Whole chorus, whole verse, bridge, and everything. So that's how we started making music, learning how to make the whole song, the whole format of everything, and having to do it in one take, honestly.
And do you think that is an advantage for you guys going through that process? Because maybe somebody new to art or music will use AI, or they won't, use a lot of digital stuff like that. So you think having an understanding how to format the music from beginning to end is really important?
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. I feel like if I took that method that me and him grew up with. I think if I took that method and gave it to somebody else and told them, yo, if you want to, be better or get to a better level, then this method might work for you, because that's definitely what worked for us.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Learning that structure of how to make a song, like we learned that from my dad, really.
Yeah, and he's so with the spoken word. Anytime he came on, and at any time, feel free, right, Mark, to chime in and share your art as we go kind of with the flow of the conversation.
He was with us when we made those first songs on SoundCloud, just like coaching us to do everything. Like,
Nice.
and even if we didn't know how to write something like originally yet, he was still, very versatile in his words, and was filling in bars here and there.
Yeah, and one of the things we had talked about prior, we were looking into sort of transparency, or as an artist, that honesty. When we were talking about that, is one of the reasons why you brought that up, because you feel like that's lacking now, that you think people are trying to be perceived as something they're not.
Yeah.
Is that what's going on? So you think authenticity
absolutely
is lacking, or?
Absolutely.
I feel like
go ahead. Originality is lacking. I feel like,
art is a thing that comes from the soul, from the spirit, and it's an expression of your pain or your happiness or whatever that may be. It's an expression of that emotion and that feeling.
Yeah.
And I feel like people, rather than it being that expression, people are hopping onto it like it's a fad and it's a wave, and portraying it like that, and it may not necessarily align with who they really are. And
when we were
art is supposed to do that. Art is supposed to align with who you are, even if you have to represent it that way.
For sure.
It should always be authentic like that.
When we were growing up, making music on SoundCloud with Tatum or whatever, we used to it's like no cussing, no cursing, no explicit, clean. How old are we? 13 or something like that. So everything had to be clean. If you weren't doing that at the time, you weren't doing a certain thing at the time, don't say it in the music. If you don't carry yourself like that at the time, don't say it in the music, stuff like that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, to get money. A lot of people are portraying themselves maybe who they're not, or the things that they don't have too.
Yeah, sometimes people portray something they've never even went through.
And then they find themselves having to keep up with this lifestyle that they don't portray. And it
absolutely
puts you in bad situations.
Yeah.
Yeah, sort of imposter syndrome, right?
Yeah.
Then you have to live up to an expectation.
Yeah, it's going to catch up. It'll catch up with you one day.
And if somebody's real, I mean, if you're portraying a certain lifestyle, whether it be a gangster or something like that, and that's not really you, and you're in a certain area where there's somebody that is
absolutely
really in that world,
you'll find yourself
and you disrespect somebody or do anything stupid.
Yeah.
Right? Does that happen?
Yeah, you'll find yourself in a bad position.
Yeah.
Originality will never, impersonation and false perception will never overcome originality.
Absolutely.
So it is basically just a waste of time.
It'll come to the surface eventually. It'll show itself.
Yeah.
Do you have anything original you could share? Something that maybe can connect you to the start, or
to the start of
or
it?
just any freestyle that
maybe.
So I could give you the song that I sent you yesterday.
Yeah.
It's called Title Music or whatever. And this was my first EP by myself.
Yeah.
Getting back into the grooves of music.
Yeah.
But it goes. Plenty of people say they won't do it, but I will, because I'm Wills, so we can get into it. See how I come to the top? I call that title music. My tongue gets sharper than sword, so we can get influent. See, I maneuver your crib like how your mama doing. She won't canoodle the kid and tell your poppy deuces. I probably get on your nerve because I'm a freaking nuisance. Applying pressure, I could probably pull a couple newtons. Pushing weight about a couple nukes. Since '08, I still put up a couple dukes. Got cake on my plate and just a cup of fruit. Can go drip in my fit without a cup of juice. Raw paper origami sushi. Something like a Stanley Tucci. I'll be up with all the actors. Catch me in your favorite movie. She called me the paparazzi. Baby won't be Tamagotchi. I'm just going up. I gotta count it like it's Fibonacci. They just want to watch me. Let me get fucking cocky. They couldn't stand the heat because I'm just a talkie. Walkie. And the brick will get clocky. And if you want the static, I silence the walkie-talkie.
Nice. Sushi.
Nice.
Yeah, I like it.
Sushi.
Nice.
I like it.
Nice.
You have anything?
If
Even
I
if it's
could,
spoken word, just anything.
if I could like touch on that topic, kind of like where people get like head over heels for the music and a little beside themselves, and it's a lot of violence that comes with this. Like I said, like music is for entertainment. You want to go party, you want to go listen to something that's gonna make your head nod and stuff like that. I understand that. That's cool. I feel like everybody should understand that. I didn't start rapping. He didn't start rapping and singing and doing this music stuff to truly be violent to anybody. It's just the way of the music. It's just what it is, and you don't always have to rap like that. But I'll say something like, tell me how we gonna survive when a line's drawn, and then they cross that line, then I'm wrong. It's looking like this game is tied, then we're all gone. I know we running out of time and it's time zone. This is that stuff that blow your mind, to get your mind blown. The kids can't even go outside, it's looking harmful. It ain't no need to harmonize, it's just a sad song, and we lose on these streets. Under them lights, they put that mask on. He got mine, we ain't get his, it's looking bad for him. And if we get him, then we slide, they coming back for us. We supposed to win, we scoring lives and moving backwards. And then the system take us in like kids in bad homes. The president ain't knowing shit except the bath salt. He just a fake, a phony, and a bastard. And we supposed to wait for him to take his mask off. He'll keep it on, and instead he'll show his ass off. We're supposed to sit around and let ops blast us, and then we brainstorm and then we blast up. I know that I matter. Fuck that black stuff. Black lives matter too. Our life been mad rough. Something like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
yeah.
It's, to me, that's more real than anything else, because it's a report, really, from the street or from your perspective or lifestyle or something like that. Tupac was phenomenal at that.
Yeah.
He was really good at that poetic, almost report from the streets to people, which I think is missing. A lot of it's just the cloud of cars and women. And then half the time, even the YouTube, a lot of times when they're trying to sell somebody, the younger people will rent a car. Yeah. They'll rent a Lamborghini or a really nice house, Airbnb it. It's very difficult to find out who's real.
It's the facade.
And who's not. But I could tell, though. I mean, I could tell.
The real can tell.
Yeah.
Always. Yeah.
The real recognize real.
Always. It's just, the facade people put on, they kind of get caught up in their own facade. That's not what I'm looking for. I don't know. It seems like that's more so what the world is looking for, but that's not necessarily what we were taught upon. You know what I'm saying?
It's always been more than music.
Yeah, always.
Yeah, I don't want to show my age. Mark over here too. Napster and what was the other one? Limelight. Remember that? Or not Limelight.
LimeWire.
LimeWire. It'd wait so long for one song just to download.
Yeah, burning CDs
and get the
all
MP3.
Night.
Yep. No, it's interesting. I just think that, or with AI as well, how do you think that's going to change the face of art? There's a part of me that almost feels like we're almost in a renaissance, an art renaissance digitally.
Yeah.
Again,
yep.
like way back, Italy, all that, because now there's an opportunity to be creative differently, like there never has been before.
Yeah.
With different AI and stuff like that. But do you guys see it as a burden to the industry or something that could be good because more people could let themselves be creative in different ways?
I think AI is kind of a hindrance. I think it takes away from that authenticity and it feels more generic. I guess from all aspects of art, really, whether I'm talking about like the art that people draw or the music that people make or even books. Like AI can make whole books now and
I fear
when
AI.
you knew it was written
I
by
don't
by a
like
robot?
AI. I'm scared of it.
Yeah.
It's you can, there's AI apps for different things or whatever. Like I feel like right now you can kind of dissect what's AI and what's not, but
Yeah.
eventually it's just like it's gonna take over.
I know
It's
when you
gonna get
can't
crazy.
distinguish it, it's going to be
Yeah.
something else. Because then,
Yeah.
like you'd be able to format podcasts and things like that.
Oh, yeah.
And I wouldn't want to do that. I
it
wouldn't
has
want
its
to do that. I want to do it myself.
Purposes, I think, in certain fields. Like
But,
I think it's good for like automating certain processes that you have to do, like if you were editing or something like that.
Yeah.
You got these college kids, they got an essay report they got to do a certain date or whatever. They're not doing it. They're going straight to the AI app and
Yeah.
telling the AI app to say whatever they needed to say.
Now they got
And-
authenticators in
Yeah.
schools just to make sure your report isn't written by AI.
Yeah.
See, I'm the
Right,
type that
Right. That's how it should be.
They'll run it through a
That's how it should
program,
be.
and if this came
Yeah.
up from, they were like, no, your whole thing was you just pulled this up from,
Yeah.
everything's fake.
I feel like it's not going anywhere. So they have to might be a better approach to teach the kids how to utilize it properly, how to talk to it, how to get what you need out of it. And also it's like anything else. If I have a hammer, I could smash Mark over the head or I could hammer in a nail. It's
Yeah.
like the user really, I see benefits to it, but I get what you're saying. That lack
Absolutely.
of, because we were talking about transparency, that authentic aspect
Yeah.
could be lost
Yeah.
in there. And it could be oversaturated completely.
Mm.
Yeah.
I just don't think it should be used to create the media that we consume.
Yeah. I
That
understand.
I feel like should come from people.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mhm.
For sure.
I agree with that.
100%.
Definitely.
What role do you think transparency plays in the art world, and how has it impacted your journey as an artist? I guess we really talked about that I'm looking at it.
If I could, I guess, continue that
Yeah, go
conversation.
ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
So I remember when we first started out making music, and we were doing it for a while too, and everything was good. We both had this motivation to keep doing it, and we even brought in other people to continue making music with us, close family and friends and everything like that.
Mhm.
And I think I was probably like 16 or 17, and I kind of just took like a sidestep, but in that sidestep I found the camera, and
Sure did.
it brought me right back to the whole music thing, because now I'm capturing it. Now I'm creating a story with the words that he's creating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're in the moment. You have like
Yeah.
the feelings and all
Yep.
the
Mhm.
aspects to it, instead of just telling something what to do or giving it a prompt.
Mhm.
We had also talked about the influence making access for opportunity too. Do you think that when we were talking about that a little bit, what's your take on the access to the opportunity? Do you think that
Uh,
there's less now?
as for opportunity,
There's a lot of opportunity out there that make it hard to achieve that opportunity, just to achieve the opportunity. Am I right?
I think what ends up happening is like you can see people doing a bunch of stuff. You can see them doing things and traveling these places and starting these businesses, but they're not necessarily. And you may have these same ideas that just like everybody else, or these brand new ideas that you want to bring to the table, and you may not necessarily have the access to get to that point.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
Yep.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's almost
The
like a
foundation or
catch-22.
structure to
Yeah.
start somewhere.
Yeah, it's like a catch-22 in a sense, right?
Yeah.
Because it'll make it easier to get going, get this tools, put it out on social media, maybe create a brand, or like you as an influencer.
Yeah.
But then there's so many people that could do that. It gets oversaturated, much more competition. to
High
be able-
demand.
high demand.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So you would really have to set yourself aside completely as an artist.
That's why it's so crazy, the things you see on social media, like the lengths people go to just to get their little bit of attention, a little
Just to
bit of
get their
fame.
15
Mhm.
minutes.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Mhm.
What has it been? 15 years we've been making music or something like that?
Yeah, almost like 15 years making
Really.
music.
Nice.
The area that we would have to go, or it feels like that we would have to go to capture somebody's eye to the fullest extent and go viral and all of that good stuff supposedly good stuff, we just not comfortable in doing because it's just like it's just out of the.
It's not authentic.
It's
people acting outside of their own character.
I know. Yeah, it's a shame. And the template is, the kids going out and doing these pranks in like the hood and these really dangerous things. Themselves. Kids imitate that when they see that, and they want the likes and they want the views and all that. So I could see how. I mean, what would your advice be to somebody who's young right now, looking to get into the game, but also feels like I don't know who I am. I don't have a purpose per se. Is there any techniques or anything that you could advise them to get to the bottom of their purpose, or to what really will help them and set them aside uniquely to themselves aside, instead of that, oh, just do this and you'll rap about cars and things like that because it's going to get you the views?
I would say, first things first, be true to who you are. You got to know who you are as a person, as an artist. Go for it. Whatever you want to do and say, go for it. But you got to carry yourself. It's like a mask. I think every artist in the world can say there's almost a little bit of a mask you got to put on when you're doing this rap thing. I
think whether you're like a music artist or whether you're like a poet, it's important to know what your voice sounds like, so that way you know how the people are hearing you.
Absolutely.
And so know your audience, really, or
know yourself.
Just be yourself.
See, it's for us. It's kind of hard to know our audience because we're versatile. We're gonna make music for every audience. Honestly, we made music for
we don't really stick to a genre.
Yeah,
we tend to bounce around. We
tend
to step up to the challenge actually of just trying different things and seeing.
So pushing people their boundaries too, not sitting comfortable.
I would like to see. This is like Tatum's perk.
Which is fantastic. We got to get him.
I would much rather see that so-called gangster rapper doing all that behind the microphone and in the videos, and then doing something beneficial for someone else. You know what I'm saying? A donation, a charity, something like that. Something that I don't want to say contradicts what you're doing for your music or in your music, but something that shows who you are actually as a person, instead of just that artist that we all know ain't necessarily 100% true.
Yeah, wouldn't it be kind of neat if it was a trend with younger people coming up, like no matter what they're doing, oh, I'm doing short clips or I'm online, I'm making a lot of money doing this, that. If it was normal when somebody was like, what do you do? Oh, I do short clips, or, I'm a rap artist, but I do this for the community. So each person would have a nonprofit tied into their business or their, when Wave was discovered, it's pretty interesting. It was while I was trying to get to the bottom of the culture of my business, NTK Equipment. So in a unique way, it's tied. We're going to have training, leveraging the book Wavemaker, forward-facing business leaders too. How to get to their purpose. What can they contribute to the community, if anything, if they have a unique thing they want to? How to come up with a nonprofit, uniquely tie it into cross-marketing,
for sure,
into the logo, maybe even to each transaction through a sale. So there's language around that. And we're finding that. But I think it would be really a neat thing, because a lot of times if we opened up that conversation, Mark, you say, oh, I'm an artist, co-host, but for the community, I, cut hair for the community, or have something where we give food trucks or have them parked out and people eat. Most likely through that conversation, everybody's going to want to know what you're doing for the community.
For sure.
So that conversation will switch from doing social media management to that. And if everybody for $300, you could just get on LegalZoom a nonprofit. If everybody had something like that, each business would be having their foot into doing something within the community. And the young people,
we were just talking about this,
to infuse that into everyday language with young people and it to be like, I
Absolutely.
do this ABC job, but I do this for the community. Oh, you do that for the community? That's great.
Yeah.
Tell me more about that.
Mm.
Go ahead. You take it.
I like the way that you said it. Like my second job, the job that pays my bills, but the job that like fulfills my soul, like that gives me purpose. That makes me feel better because I'm helping other people. I think a lot of people should go about that more.
Isn't that the real money though? That's
That
the
is the real
currency.
money.
That's
That
the
is the
currency
real money.
right there. So your influence, you guys are good looking guys. You know, you have very talented, like you're at an age where I'm sure you can influence young people really well too. And shout out to Tatum. We love you here. You know, you got an open spot every single time. These guys are great. Shout out to Tatum. You got to get up on the perk. I'm going to bother you when I see you next time because he's got something amazing. Even if we could find a way to tie that into our training and then have him take it later.
Yeah.
I think that unique approach to teach young people is key right now. We need that.
We need
and
that.
Everybody has something that they could bring to the table.
Yeah, I don't feel like it's a lot of guidance going on these days. I feel like the parents aren't really parenting, and excuse me, I don't have any kids, so I can't really say that. But
yeah, same here.
Yeah, I don't feel like there's a lot of guidance. I'm gonna just keep it at that. There's not a lot of guidance here. I feel like
there's not a lot of support for kids anymore. Like you don't see a lot of places where kids just go to hang out anymore.
Yeah.
Everything costs way too much money to take your kid somewhere or to send your kid somewhere. So this is why now they're in the house and just playing on the video game all day.
I know. It's a rough one.
Unless you find the kids that go outside and actually play. But I think having that, because I feel like a lot of these things were around and then they just started getting either losing business or just I guess diverting attention away from it.
COVID didn't help too.
No,
that definitely
COVID
made the
everything.
kids inside, scared them. Like
it killed a lot of things.
Yeah.
It people don't realize how much damage it is until you really look back on it and be like,
it got worse. Everything got worse after COVID.
It could have been an escape for some kids though. Environmentally, like that time away in school, getting lunch money, maybe that's their only meal.
Yeah.
That was all taken away. And if they have a poor environment, they were stuck there all day too, with probably crazy parents and who knows. When you were saying that fills you up, I totally get that. Every day, Mark and I are doing this, just getting filled up, meeting new people. And, the path is to the person 100%. We're realizing that everything else is a distraction. What is it that you were doing in the community? Or what is it? Do you have a charity or you have some thoughts on something you want to do? Even teaching young people like this at a mentorship.
The idea we had ran across the other day was like a community center, like having a community center in the town built by the people who are in the town.
Mm-hmm.
That way you will be able to create jobs for them to also, make the establishment and then work in the establishment that they also created. That was an angle that we were talking about the other day. Just about the community, just about bringing the community together, or providing opportunities for people to do something, or to have jobs, or even get like what we're saying, grants,
funding, college. I feel like people. This was just on a whim we were talking.
Yeah, so early concept.
Yeah, it was like I don't know how many. Me and him both went to college. I think I was in college for 3 months, not even. 2 semesters or something like that.
I did a year.
It's not for everybody.
Yeah, he did a year.
I didn't take the traditional path either.
Yeah. But then sit at home for a while and you're thinking to yourself, what am I doing? I should have went back to school. Me personally, and I think for him as well, we sit there and we're talking about we should go back to school, but then there's like no real like kick of motivation to actually put the foot forward to actually
the biggest thing you have is like, you ever seen those commercials and it's like the guy, he's like, what you doing sitting on the couch? You should be going to school right now. You're sitting on you laying on watching TV anyway. Call this number.
I haven't seen that commercial in a while.
Or the education connection commercial.
Yeah,
that was about the full extent of like trying to get people to go back to school.
Mm-hmm.
But I haven't seen those commercials in a while either. Yeah, like
I don't know what colleges do. I don't know what universities do when somebody drops out. or anything like that. They stop coming to class and stuff like that. I don't know if they reach out to them and wonder what they're doing with their life and stuff like that.
Oh, okay. So
You know
you're
what I'm saying?
talking about having a community center for people that
In general,
okay.
and
Well, a community
and
center
with
could be
that-
for the whole community.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
this,
You want to target people that may have left
yeah.
college not knowing where they
or take
wanna go.
trying
like
to
that.
still find your purpose.
maybe not even
That's
a
exactly
maybe
how-
not even a
there's-
college student, maybe like a
Even
What
if you
were
were to
we-
learn a trade.
inmate who just came home from prison or something like that, and you know they're just throwing them to the wolves at that point.
right.
It's hard when you come out of jail, you know, to get to get that job, to maintain, you know, a house to stay in.
Get the foot back in the door.
Look,
It's
you know, one
ridiculous.
thing we're finding, Mark and I, with this show and just through our relationships is there's so many people that have some great idea and they want to start a nonprofit. I say go for it
Yeah.
at the end of the day.
Yep.
You have the full support of Ride the Wave. Mark and I, like, if you need anything, you want to collaborate in any way, talk to discuss it. There could be maybe a fit for training that we have later in your community center. We're finding that the network we're receiving and on the back end, we can connect different foundations
For
to
sure.
each other too. So, you know, whether
You
you
asked
know-
me what would I tell. I don't mean to cut you off.
No,
Excuse
absolutely.
me. You asked
Right.
me what would I tell another upcoming artist or somebody aspiring.
yeah, what advice or
Go for it. Whatever you want to do behind that microphone, go for it. Whatever you want to do behind the camera, go for it. Don't lose yourself inside the music and portray that person that you actually want to be.
yeah,
It's almost like basically do whatever you want to do. Go for whatever dream that you have that you want to do, but be original.
For sure.
Stand out from everything else.
For sure.
You know?
Yeah.
For sure. If you want to go behind the microphone and gangster this, gangster that, and it's portrayed to you got a whole audience that likes that and they're gonna listen to that. Do something
Yeah.
beneficial.
It's so
Just
much
do
better.
something beneficial.
yeah. It's so much better to go the road less traveled,
Yeah.
to walk to the beat of your own drum.
Do everything that
essentially.
somebody else isn't doing.
And that doesn't
Yeah.
mean that's not going to come without challenges. Or in the beginning, I think that people are not, and they may not understand you too. People, you know, it might
Yeah.
be something so different that people can't see it,
Yeah.
or they may not understand it up front. I wouldn't let anybody let that stop you.
For sure.
Keep pushing through. In fact, actually, that's the universe's way of
For
testing
sure.
you to see if you're really into it.
For
or
sure.
not. I think that's God's way of saying, is this something that you really want?
Yeah.
You know, I'm not going to make it easy for you.
Yeah.
You know, if you want courage, I'm going to put something in front of you that's
See
going
what
to
you're-
make you courageous if you
Absolutely.
choose to move forward with
If
it.
you're
It's
gonna
not going to
see what you're
gonna
gonna do with it.
courage.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yep.
Yeah, that's that process that you have to push through. I think get through that fear.
For sure.
I think it's great what you guys are doing. And if you know, like I said, want to connect at any time to discuss the community center, you know, I know it's a process of we're 501c, so you know, I could help you in any way to
Mhm.
collaborate with that. I'm all for that. What do you got? You
I
got
found
some?
a piece.
Yeah.
I guess that kind
Yeah,
of
go. Let's hear
relates
it.
to exactly what we're talking about. This is from live from the limbic system. This is called Equals You. Whether in thought or aloud, we ask ourselves the same questions every day. Who am I and why am I here? There isn't another soul on this planet who could answer that for you. Some people spend an eternity searching for that answer and die empty-handed. Others live a full life believing in the wrong answers. And then there are the ones who are happy, not because they've found the answer, but because they themselves have become the solution. You are the answer. You're here to solve problems. And there isn't another soul on this planet who could tell you you're wrong.
There you have it.
I like that. Very direct too.
You can find these
That's
books on
good.
Amazon as well.
It's
Yes,
on
you can
Amazon.
find
All right,
some.
yeah.
He's
Check
got
out
'em.
Amazon,
He's got
everybody.
'em.
Go grab them.
Live from the limbic system.
Live from the limbic system.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna check that out too.
Yeah.
Is there an audiobook as well? or it's
I
just
have a Kindle version.
Kindle version.
Kindle version. I'm working on
Check
a
that out.
second edition of this book that's going to include a lot more, and possibly an audio version. So,
Yeah, it's exciting, right? Become an author.
yeah, it's very exciting. Being able to find these stories that I had, because I was writing for a while. I think this book here is like the accumulation of like 7 years of like
Mhm.
writing,
Wow.
and then
It's probably a
I
lot
had
more.
and
Oh,
then,
yeah.
A lot more.
and
You
then
have
I
a
had
lot
to.
too. You have
I got a lot of poems.
But
I
it
don't
took
write them
2
down
years.
in like
You
book
guys have a
form.
lot of work.
But
Mm.
Yeah, we got a lot of work.
And then
A
what's your creative process look like? So how do you have a way, like for me, for example, if for work or presentations or for Ride the Wave, I'll throw on headphones and music sometimes and I'll pace back and forth, or I'll go for a walk. I'll let ideas, and sometimes I'll even talk.
Okay.
So I'll record those ideas and then convert them into text.
Okay.
And then sort through them. Sometimes it depends, or the, thoughts and ideas will come through and I'll just take them down.
Okay.
But I think like sometimes people have a little bit of a process they go through. It's interesting. There was a show, Storytellers or something, where an artist, whether it was Springsteen or somebody, would come up, tell people their process, how they came up with the song and then sang it. So I was like thinking like something like that with you guys. Is there something like that does just come to you, or do you have to spark it up somehow?
Sometimes there's
Get the juices flowing, the creative.
Sometimes it's a happening.
Yeah.
Sometimes there's like a situation that actually happened.
Sometimes it's a feeling, and you just kind of go off of it. And sometimes you can pinpoint exactly what that feeling is, or sometimes you can only like circle around it as many times as you can, and you may not get exactly to that point, but you've encompassed everything around that point, so you have an understanding of what you really want to do.
How about environmentally? Do you put yourself in like a meditative state or anything like that?
I feel like my best time of writing is like this weird hour in between like 2:30 and like 3:30 in the morning. If I'm up at that hour, I think everything is just clicking at that time. I don't know.
I think it's like a calling to me. Like I feel like I have a lot of stuff that I have to write, but certain things come to me in waves. Like this may not get written now. I may have to stop this and start writing something else. So it's really a flow.
It's interesting. I feel like I have that, but just not, I don't write poems or songs or anything. I should probably try to write that. I did want to do stand-up comedy.
Yeah.
And write that and actually do
I would like
I can be funny, Mark. Don't look at me like that.
I would try a stand-up comedy night just one time.
Just one time, because how do I know I'm not good at it?
How do you know you're not that funny?
Really, yeah, like I could speak really well. I think if I prepared for it, right?
You don't think so, Mark?
Mark is like,
I mean, anyone
Mark
can
not
be good
with
at
it.
anything.
Yeah, if I
put your
practice
mind
it,
to
I could.
and you never know.
Yeah,
I've done like best man speeches and married my one cousin.
Nice.
I think I did good. I think but that's a bucket list thing that I want to do. But for me, I have similar where it'll be late at night. Maybe I can't sleep, and I'll call it a creative night or a power night. I don't try to do that because sleep is so, for me, important.
Yeah.
I could lose it on sleep, especially now. But that does, those times at night, or that when you're kind of lacking sleep, that does kind of spark something.
Yeah, I may have an idea that's burning and I can't sleep because I have to write it down.
It's like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
It can be heavy sometimes.
I don't know. No real, I don't want to say no real process, creative process.
No.
It's just like.
Just kind of comes.
Just comes. I'm going to go with the flow.
I'll be like that when I be sketching sometimes. Like, I know what I want to sketch at a particular point throughout the day, like when I am sketching.
Yeah.
But then it's like, okay, I know what I want to do, but then it's like that's not what comes out on the paper.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. I was gonna say, thank you for saying that. Sometimes I know I want to write. I know I want to make some music right now. Do I necessarily know what I want to talk about? Not really. I think when I play the beat, I'm looking through the beats. Okay, I like this beat, and then it's like my mind just automatically goes to what that beat is kind of telling me.
Yeah, and you kind of get in the zone, or you get locked into it.
Yep. Once I start sketching, whatever start coming out.
Yeah, that's what it is. That's what it is.
I just go with it
for sure.
And then whatever the end result.
Yeah.
If I like the end result, then it's cool.
Yeah. If I go home,
like it is.
If I go home and I turn the beat on and my mind starts going about this podcast or something.
Yeah.
I think everybody has like
I'm gonna go with that
creativity
flow
inside them. It's just about how much you like embrace it and open yourself up to it, because it'll take you wherever.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
I think that everybody has something unique that's just dormant in some people, and
sometimes you just gotta wake it up.
Everybody underestimates themselves so much too. I'll look at people sometimes when they're complaining about certain things. I'm like, you have just no idea what's inside you right now.
For sure.
If you flip that.
Yeah.
Because also perception. I mean, is that But you can, I mean, is it like therapy for you guys too? If you're down, you can get it out.
Oh yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
anger,
Oh, yeah.
you can get your emotions out constructively instead of beating somebody up or yelling at somebody. You
Oh,
can put
yeah.
it out in your art, or just like somebody would go work out.
Yep.
Those are healthier outlets, at least.
Yeah.
I feel like I've been able to do that for a lot of other people too. That's kind of what brought me to being a producer. You know, different art projects that people work on, they'll come to me like, I can't figure this out. Like, I was just connecting two dots. And like, oh, I didn't even see that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yes.
I would love for somebody to give me their emotional thought process, tell me a situation they're going through, and have me write it out for them. Because I'm good with taking those emotions, whatever emotions I'm going through. If I'm like upset about something,
Mhm.
whatever situation is, I'll probably write about it. And yeah. So somebody else giving me like their situation, I feel like I would do pretty good writing for them, stuff like that.
That's interesting. And you should just try that out. If you went up to somebody and just said, I have a thought on a foundation
Yeah.
where it's going to be a community center, and I have an idea on a process. Could I just try this with you? And then just go up to somebody and just start just doing that like that. If you know somebody that would be open enough for them to, share their problems to you, maybe you could just try that out, see if it works. Like Tatum has that unique perk.
Yeah.
Because that's what it really is about. I have a friend that is looking to do a sales consultant. So he's just using me as a guinea pig, really. And then you could utilize, we were talking about AI before,
Right.
that's really good at processes, creating, any strategies.
For sure.
Things like that. So,
Sure. Yeah, no,
that could be a way to do that.
Yeah.
Because there is something to putting down on paper. Just the act for me, if I'm doing a reflection journal, every day I try to do 3 things I'm grateful for, 3 things I could do that the day I'm doing it to make the day good or to make the day great. And then 3 things that could be better.
Okay.
Just the act of writing it down. There's something to it. Even if it's good to do it after, but even if you don't, it's just getting it out there.
It is cathartic.
In writing. Yeah, there's something to it. There's an energy to it. For sure.
A lot of times we feel like the things that you put on paper or record, or speak in general, you just manifesting them. So the way you, whatever you're writing on that paper has got to be good or positive or something you want in life. Manifest it that way. You know what I'm saying? If you're telling yourself every day, if you're writing on a paper every day, I'm not going to be good today. I'm not going to be good today. I'm not going to be good today. You're probably not going to be good that day. If you're writing on the paper, I'm going to have a great day 30 times in a row, and you might have just a little bit better day. I don't know why, but.
Yeah. Yo, that's all proven too. Affirmations. And,
yeah.
They're finding now in psychology, going to a therapist and just always talking about your problems isn't healthy or the way to go. It's a revolving door a little bit.
Yeah.
Now it's feed yourself with positivity.
Mm-hmm.
Read positive things. Go on gratitude walks.
That's that.
What you're grateful
trick
for.
Your mind.
You can program your mind.
Trick your mind.
People, and do you think that you do that as an artist and it makes you more self-aware?
Yeah.
It's like a
yeah.
Yeah, I think I feel like I've opened my mind up to different perspectives to where it's like I can see it from how somebody else might be looking at it, and that's maybe how I approach the art from there.
Okay.
Something that might have hurt me in a certain way, I look at it in a different way because I could put it in a song and make it fun. You know, we could party to this and laugh and ha about this, but when the situation was going on, it was kind of hurtful. You know what I'm saying? But now it's in the music, and we're just kind of tricking our minds to enjoying that bad situation.
Have you ever written something and then it became popular, but it reminds you of something every time that's kind of negative or something you don't want to bring up in your life?
Yeah.
But it ends up connecting with people a certain way
and
where
they love
they're
it.
like, and they love it.
Yeah.
But it's like, man, out of all the songs they could connect to, it's this one.
Yeah.
That happens.
Yep.
We were literally saying, and on the way here, there's so many times we've written something and then it's happened.
Really?
That exact way.
That
What you
exact
put
way.
out into the world.
Yeah.
Right.
It's just what you put out.
speak. That's all this is.
Yeah.
It's speaking it into existence from the inside out, from your heart. You could speak into the world. If the world was created with a voice, that's really, you have such power to speak life or death.
Yeah.
Yes.
It really is a choice there. And words are so powerful.
For sure.
You know, you could lift people up and that. So you were able to take that and flip it. And it became popular. People could relate to some of your songs that way.
Yeah.
It's probably like a good thing, but a bad thing.
Quick question. How do you believe spoken word and rap music can influence social change? And do you see your work as part of that movement?
It's a good question.
I feel like, admittingly, I feel like when I was working with Tatum, you know, he was mentoring me on how to do the rap thing. He was making sure we were being kept very, very open-minded about the things that we were saying. You know, I told you, if don't portray what you're not doing and stuff like that. You know, eventually we grow up, we get into certain situations, we start living our own lives. So, I mean, go for it. You could talk about whatever you want at that point, I guess. But what I would want to work on with myself is making more music, because I can write it all day long, but I don't, sometimes I just don't go record it because that's not the music that is selling, you know? You're trying to make money and be entertaining, but the music that's selling isn't what I want to put out. What I want to put out is that good music, and it doesn't, I got to spend money going to that studio, you know what I'm saying? Spend money on something that's going to make money. That's what it feels like, or that's what you think it is. But I want to work on putting out music that is more positive and effective to, you know.
Yeah.
Actually make a change.
Actually making a change.
Touch people. Actually, I get it.
Yeah.
I think if you position your songs in a certain way or certain light that has a unique style to it, that you can do that if it's different. I think you should go that route.
I would love to.
You could still do that. You could still do the ones that are popular that you could say, all right, well, this will maybe be a hit. This will be a hit. Draw people into the music.
Yeah.
Like if you're doing albums, I know it's not like it used to be where people are probably with the full albums as much anymore.
People are bouncing around on who they listen to anyway these days. You know, they don't have a favorite select artist anymore. Somebody's hot for a year and then they're on to the next person anyway. But
half the time they just like the beat.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Lyrically, I don't know. I like lyrics though, but you're right.
I love lyrics.
That is
it's
true.
great to listen to lyrics. And I think that's how we kind of give that back, is like the intention of it. You got to be intentional when you're putting these words out and the message that people are receiving when they're getting it. Definitely through rap music, but even in books like this, I think what's leading me into my second book is being intentional about your words and being accountable for what those words can carry.
Yeah. Accountability is important too. Do you think that artists, when they say things, if it was to cause an issue somewhere, that they should be held responsible for it, or art is art and it's not like that?
I believe that expression. I think art is art and it can be interpreted in different ways. I definitely don't want to go against like freedom of speech. Like I definitely feel like people should be able to say and do what they want, but that isn't freedom of speech. Doesn't mean freedom of critique.
Yeah, and I don't think any legislation or anything like that, because society tends to weed that out and filter that out itself. Like if you're gonna have somebody that's totally opposing, that's like online doing stupid things, acting like a jerk, starting fights, they're gonna get it naturally.
You know who you are as a person, or at least you should know who you are as a person. So you should know the things that you can or feel comfortable saying, the things that you can back up. I mean, even to a certain extent, there's certain people out there that say things they have no business saying. Don't these people, they direct it directly at somebody's government name, somebody's friends and family members, and where they live, the address and stuff like that, and then you'll expect to get away with it in a sense. But I don't really see how you could ever get away with that. And then they're not even the people that are the people directing it aren't really living that life.
The internet is rampant with this.
Yeah.
And because you've had a good
Comment
mentor,
section.
We make music, and I'm gonna say I make gangster rap, but then you'll hear me make an R&B song, or you'll hear me make a pop song, something that if I wrote it down and I wanted to send it to Taylor Swift, she could sing it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I know who I am as a person. I'm not sitting there saying, oh, I'm gonna go outside and just punch the next person in the face if I'm not gonna, you know what I'm saying? But people make the sound, they make a song, they portray an image, they get caught up in the image, and it doesn't pan out so well for, just, so what I'm saying, like, go for it, just be versatile, don't get caught up in so much literal sense.
Yeah.
Because music is music and art is art.
Just be yourself.
Yeah.
Just be yourself. Anything you guys want to leave off with as far as your work that you're doing? Any spoken word or any rap? Close it out on that.
Yeah, thanks, man. I love to read this one. I always love for people to hear this one. This is called Hues of Black.
What was it?
It's Hues of Black.
Okay.
Hues, Hues. I always love to read this one. In the middle of the night, the dark feels so warm. Sometimes I can't help but to bask in the presence of my own shadow. Concrete. Standing on my own 2 feet. There's a pain in my neck that probably came from his knee. I can't breathe. I'll just scream till I run out of breath. When you're running for your life, that means every step is closer to death. Somebody call the ref, because the roughness on this play is just way too unnecessary. Black Lives Matter isn't only just for February. To keep it real, you don't know how it feels. There's a difference in how we heal and differences why we kneel. We're on a mission to get the Constitution rewritten and be persistent till we get a Bill of Rights revision. We were never in America's vision. We were taken a long time ago without our permission. And they just keep dissing because they're melanin missing, playing victim after they give us the pot that we piss in. Fighting world wars that we can't win. The world wants black on black everything except for the skin. And black on black violence just be killing our kin, patience running thin, and my hands are off thinking, will I end up in the grave or in handcuffs? And if you're still standing, stand with me to defy and defeat, because if we don't have justice, then they're not getting peace. Peace.
Yeah, it's good. So it is a way to open up to, feelings of anything social or, just creatively being able to express yourself like that.
Mm-hmm. Big time.
What's going on. I think that people, and that's the beauty of just Mark and I, our kind of unlikely friendship there.
Right.
Realizing that people are connected at the spirit too. I mean, all of us, especially me, to you guys probably live such different lives, completely different setups and family, totally different walk of life. But we can sit here and we could talk about something like this that brings us together, whether it be art, community, things like that. That's what it's all about.
For sure.
It is about
I'm
bringing
sure
each
we
other
could speak
together.
on many more things and still connect in the same sense.
I mean,
It's about
there's
finding the things that make us the same, that bring us together.
what
the thing
unites us.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Right. There was John F. Kennedy a while back asked not what you could do. Asked not what your country could do for you, but what you could do for your country. He had said. So I think that a lot of times where people are in situations where, oh, what could I get? Or I'm not getting this, or I'm putting this in tax, or whatever it is. But all right, what are the contributions?
Yep.
what are also you doing to contribute to society instead of
Mhm.
just sitting there
For sure.
asking for things too?
And being selfish.
Yeah, absolutely.
and satisfying your ego, I would say.
Mhm.
Satiating your ego. But it's a
Mhm.
hunger that won't get fed.
That's
You
why
know, just keep asking more of you.
that's why careers are
Yeah.
lasting a year and some change, because they're not doing anything for anyone else. It's just all about them, all about them, all about them, and then it's on to the next person. Because
Mhm.
Let me know if you find somebody that you could do that test on.
oh yeah,
And then get their whole life story,
For
hear
sure.
like the issues, challenges, and
Yeah.
then if there's anything market I could do,
For
just
sure.
let me know. We could even like any kind of brainstorm, and I love doing that kind of stuff. You know,
Absolutely.
Andy's been on the show. He's somebody that
yeah,
for Eli or Ellie mental health, and you know, on the back end, keeping conversations going, and you know, he's been helpful
yep,
about maybe acquiring a van that Mark could drive because we have a transportation gap. Little things like that come through conversation, and I really do. I hope you guys do it, and we got to get your dad, man. Have got to get Tatum to do
Gotta
it,
get
even
him.
if, like I said, if he's cool with it, being molded at first into wave training,
yeah.
and then him maybe splitting off with it. I'm gonna have a conversation
I'm sure he's
to
interested.
see.
Yeah.
And same with Brian, who does dream management. He was on the show too.
Okay,
That was pretty like
that's
nobody
sick.
in retail, for example, if you were gonna go like work Walmart,
Mhm.
when you come, it would be, all right, well, what's your dream? When you're hired, we'll work on an action plan for your
Right.
dream,
Mhm.
put resources towards it, things like that, which
Okay.
was, I thought, sort of brilliant. So like getting ideas from other people could definitely help out with any collaboration there.
Collaboration
Right.
is what's going to provide that access to opportunities.
And it's who
Right,
you
right.
know,
Mm-hmm.
asking for help and being humble
Yeah.
Yeah.
too. Some of the best leadership in the world, that's what they do. They just
That's
ask
right.
for help, and they don't take on the world themselves. So
That's very true. Knowing how to share that and delegate sometimes.
Mhm.
there's definitely, I think, a lot more to this we could cover if you guys wanted to ever come back,
Of course.
or
Absolutely.
you know, expand on sort of our conversations, dig deeper into maybe your lives too and how it connects. I think an hour was not nearly enough. We could just keep
Right.
going.
Yeah.
Nah.
No, it's good.
But yeah, it was great to have you guys
Yeah,
coming
it's
in.
great to
I
be
really
here.
appreciate you
Thank
being
guys.
here.
Absolutely.
Definitely honored.
Sure.
Definitely honored.
What do you say,
We need
Mark?
to have all three of them on the show.
I know, if we could fit it, we need bigger tables here. Or maybe
Yeah.
do
If we could
we'll do
have
a
all
virtual.
three of us, I think we'd definitely go longer than
We're
an hour.
gonna need a little bit more than an hour.
Yeah, you know, we'd have to
We'd
set
definitely
that
go
up
longer
as a
than an
couple
hour.
hours before. But
Yeah. Nah,
yeah,
it's a pleasure being here.
yeah, absolutely. It was so great to have you
we can do
guys.
that.
Follow the label on Instagram at La Musicasa. It's spelled just how it sounds, LAMUSICASA. You can follow me at LAAMYG. That's Lami G.
All right.
Wills_the.cameraman.
Thank you guys so much. You take care.
Thank you.
You good. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you for tuning in to Ride the Wave. It's been a pleasure having you with us as we explore ways to make a positive impact together. Remember, every little wave creates a ripple of change. We appreciate any support you can provide as we plan to build an all-inclusive, modern campus and empower communities. For details on how you can contribute through various platforms, please visit us at ridethewave.org. Until next time, keep riding the wave of change with us. I'm Jeff Fisher, signing off, but the journey continues.